Hello, everyone. Welcome to the CBSO Centre. My name is Tom. I'm the Creative Director of Learning and Engagement here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, musicians, for being here. This is an incredible room to be a part of, with artists coming from across the country and internationally to be here today. CBSO Centre is the home of the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra. We've been resident here for over a century. And we've been working over the last few years to connect as much as possible with communities that we hadn't been connected to throughout our kind of long history. And that is thanks to many people who are in this room today. They may not be in this room because they may be outstairs still stuffing their face, but many of them should be in this room. Gurpreet, I can see. Thank you, Gurpreet, for making this possible, and also to Kuldeep. Kuldeep is part of our community board that at the CBSO is designed specifically to help us connect to a wide range of different community groups in Birmingham. And this event, it's so special for us to be hosting this here today, and we're really honoured to have you as audiences and you as artists here. The event today celebrates the recognition of the Sikh sacred music curriculum and syllabus by the Music Teachers Board, and that is a huge thing in the music education sector, both in the UK and also internationally. It's a massive mark of recognition for the incredible amount of work that goes into learning these instruments, the artistry that goes into it, and we're going to hear a lot more about that throughout this evening, as well as hearing some incredible music. I've said a special thanks to Kuldeep, but thanks again for making this possible and bringing this group of people together. We're going to hear some incredible music. We're going to learn about the music curriculum, both from Dr. Harjinder and also from Symphony. So that's it from me. Please enjoy this evening. We're all going to be around afterwards, so come and say hello, get to know us, see what the CBSO is up to. I'd love to hear what you're up to. But for the moment, I'll pass over to Symphony. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will speak a little bit, few minutes, on origin, significance, and terminology of Sikh sacred music. This mostly aimed at non-Sikhs and people who might not be familiar with Sikh sacred music and the tradition of it. So Sikhism, or Sikhi, began in Punjab region of northern India in the late 15th century. Its founder, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, was born in 1469 in what is now Pakistan. He traveled extensively with his Muslim companion, Bhai Mardana, a rabab player, to share the message that there is one God for all humanity and that everyone is equal in God's eyes, emphasizing honest living, sharing with others, service to those in need, and constant remembrance of God. Guru Nanak Dev Ji rejected empty rituals, the caste system, and discrimination. He called people to live a life of truth, humility, and universal love. And this message by Guru Nanak Dev Ji was conveyed through Shabad, a divine poetry sung to the accompaniment of the string instrument. So string instrument was there from the very, very beginning. The poetic works or Shabads of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and the next four gurus were compiled in the early 17th century into the Adi Granth, which also included writings from other mystics, poets, and Hindu and Muslim saints such as Sheikh Farid and Bhagat Kabir Ji. In the early 18th century, the verses of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the ninth Guruji, were added, forming the final version known as Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Almost all of 6,000 compositions in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji are set to a musical framework, a rag. In Guru Granth Sahib Ji, there are 31 Shuddh or pure rags and 29 Mishrit or composite rags. And many of those rooted in northern Indian classical music, while others originate within the Sikh musical tradition itself. So some of the rags were created by the gurus themselves. What is Sikh sacred music? It is also known as Shabad Kirtan. It is central to Sikh worship, and it's a devotional performance that combines three elements: a Shabad, which is a hymn or verse, rag, which is melody or musical aspect, and the rhythmical aspect, which is tal. So in India, there are two main musical systems. There's Northern Indian classical music and there's Southern. So Sikh sacred music is based on Northern Indian classical tradition, and which follows 12 notes, same as Western music. And notations align to Western music, so you can translate from Indian notation, Northern Indian notation, to Western scales. However, the intricate movements and nuances of each rag are traditionally been passed down from guru to a student, or part of a guru shishya parampara. And before we go any further, I would like to acknowledge our teacher, Ustad Surjit Singh Ji, who's sitting in the middle there, who's played an immense role in every musician's here musical upbringing. So in the last 500 years, Kirtan has had many forms and been influenced by many styles, including Northern Indian classical forms such as Dhrupad or Khyal, as well as Punjabi folk traditions. And originally, Kirtan was performed exclusively on string instruments by a group of ragis, because obviously they didn't have microphones, so they needed several instruments to sound loud enough and convey the emotion of the rag. However, during British rule, the harmonium gained prominence due to Western preferences, and many string instruments were sidelined. In recent decades, these traditional instruments have experienced a resurgence, once again being featured in Shabad Kirtan either as an accompaniment instrument or as a primary instrument. And we recognize the important role of Namdari Sikh community in keeping this heritage alive. The Sikh Sacred Music Exam Syllabus, which we are here to celebrate today, which Dr. Lally will speak later after the musical presentation, he'll speak more about it. Sikh Sacred Music Exam highlights the importance of preserving and passing on this musical heritage to both Sikh community in India, its global diaspora, and people like me who are not from a Sikh background but became Sikhs and love Kirtan so much. So today's demonstration, we will focus mostly on the musical side of Sikh sacred music without the vocals, because Shabad Kirtan is fundamentally a spiritual practice, and it is accompanied by certain etiquette, such as we will not be sitting on the chairs, we will not be wearing our shoes, we'll cover our heads. So there are certain things. So we will concentrate on the musical side today. And usually in Shabad Kirtan we don't clap because it's also part of the etiquette, but today if you're welcome to show your appreciation of the performance by clapping if you wish to. And we have an amazing set of musicians and instruments here in front of you today, and we're going to start this demonstration with Ustad Surjit Singh Ji, who plays sarangi. So sarangi is a string instrument. It's one of the instruments included into the Sikh sacred music, which covers 6 instruments. We have 5 of them here today. Sarangi and saranda, which is not here unfortunately, but sarangi is a string instrument without frets. It's got 3 gut strings and many sympathetic strings. And Ustad will demonstrate the sound. So sarangi means sorangi, 100 colors, the instrument that can display hundreds of emotions, and it's been compared to the sound of the human voice the most. Next to Ustadji, we have Ragi Balwant Singh, who is a Hazuri Ragi from Siripani Sahib. Hazuri Ragi means a resident Ragi, and Siripani Sahib is the Namtari spiritual center in Punjab. And Ragiji plays instrument called Dilruba. Dilruba means a robber of your heart. So the sound is so sweet, then it will make your heart melt. But just 2 words about the Dilruba. Dilruba belongs to a family of fretted instruments. So we can see sarangi doesn't have any frets, and Dilruba and all the other instruments you see on the stage, which are similar form, they all have frets. So it kind of gives you the notes along the fretboard. And the sound box is much smaller than a sarangi one, and the neck is longer. So strings are metal, so the sound quality is quite different. Virgi, would you please? We'll go on the right-hand side. Sorry, I'm really bad with left and right. On the right-hand side, and Kirpal Singh Virji, who is a Birmingham-based musician and music teacher, is playing Tarshanai. So Tarshanai is also part of the fretted family instruments, and his son is actually Kartar Singh, sitting on this side of Balwan Virji, and his instrument is called Israj. So Israj and Tarshanai is essentially the same instrument, but Virji has an attachment to his instrument, which is actually called Shanai, which is like how would you say, like a gramophone attachment. It's got a needle and a kind of like a little speaker thing, and the needle is touching the strings, so the sound is quite different to anything you're going to hear today. These are kind of the same instrument essentially, but the sound is very, very different. So Virji will do a short demonstration on Tarshanai. going to hear a few sounds on Israj. And I just wanted to mention one more thing. As we mentioned, Guru Shishya Parampara, that runs in the family. So Kartar Singh is Kirpal Virji's son, and I'm sure Balwant Virji, your sons, also play and sing.
Yeah.
Yes, and Ustad Surjit Singh Ji is teaching hundreds of people, and their own children also sing and play. It runs in the family, and we're privileged to have such masters who can pass it on. Thank you. To the right again, and in front of you can see a taus. Taus means a peacock in Farsi, and it's obvious why it's called a peacock. It's the biggest instrument that we have, and it's kind of in the same family as Dilruba, Israj, Tarshanai, and but the sound is quite different. Avtar Singh has been playing taus for over 20 years and is a student of Ustad Surjit Singh Ji. Please. Thank you. We have Jaspreet with us here today, who's playing Rabab, but this is not the same Rabab that Pai Mardanaji played. Pai Mardanaji played Indian Rabab, which is round shape and has a little longer neck. This is an Afghani Rabab, but you can kind of imagine sound quality is somewhat similar. It's a long gut strings and also sympathetic strings. It's a plucked instrument. This instrument is not actually included in the Sikh Sacred Music exam for now. Probably, hopefully in the future, it will be included in the next edition. Jaspreet will demonstrate sound of Rabab. Last but not least, we have by Harpreet Singh Ji and his student and son Harnam Singh, who will demonstrate Jori. Jori is, you might be familiar, people are more familiar with tabla. Tabla is a more modern instrument. Jori is an ancient form of a percussion instrument that was used in Guru's times. And Jori is a larger instrument. The technique of playing is slightly different. It's played with the open hand. Also, the difference is that there is actually a flower, a kneaded flour on top of the jori, so it's prepared before each performance. And if the musicians are very passionate, then it starts flying around. That's my favorite bit. Virji and Harnam Singh will demonstrate jori. Finally, we have two more people on the stage with us today. Gursharan Singh Ji, who is a Birmingham-based musician, dilruba player and music teacher, and Nanaki, who is Dr. Lali's daughter and who's been learning sarangi for over 8 years. Yeah, and everybody's going to be performing a shan in Rag Mishra Kafi, and shan is a music piece that is like an announcement. It's a celebration of what's to come, and we're hoping that after today's program there are great things of collaboration with CBSO and many other things to come. Thank you so much.
I wonder if I could forego my speech and listen to more of this absolutely wonderful music. I am completely indebted to you for giving the time to present this absolutely mesmerizing music. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out to attend this event. I suppose this collaboration with the CBSO began with my very, very good friend, Dr. David Knibb, who's sitting in the audience at the back there. He's not only responsible for kind of helping develop this relationship with the CBSO, but he's also responsible for interviewing me 25 years ago for a job in academia, and actually giving it me as well, which must have been a huge risk. But thank you, David, for everything you've done. And Guldeep Singh, thank you as well for it's all good and well starting a collaboration, but we've then got to do something, and we've got to actually hold an event, and this is the first, I hope, of many events. What I want to do now is just take you very quickly through the syllabus and tell you what it's all about. So I've got a few slides here, and the exam is referred to as the Sikh Sacred Music Exam. And so far, we have developed pre-grade up to grade 3. And this very weekend, we are embarking on yet another very, very long, intensive couple of days where we're going to develop the rest, or as much of the rest of the syllabus as we can. What is the Sikh Sacred Music Exam? It is an Ofqual, UCAS, internationally recognized music exam. So it has currency. And it operates in pretty much exactly the same way as the piano, the violin graded exams. It has a pre-grade, it has 8 grades that students can study. And they sit the exam, and they get the grades. It completely changes the landscape for Sikh music, because up till now, what's happened, and I'll kind of expand on it in a little while, is students are learning, they've been learning for many years, and they don't really have that all-important piece of paper to show kind of their achievements. So it has kirtan and tanti saj. Those are stringed instruments, as you've just seen there. And it's kind of aimed at 8 to 17 years old. But if there are no age limits, if you're 60 years old and you want to sit the exams and you want to start learning, it's definitely not too late. And the whole idea, really, what drove us to do this was relevance, rigor, and reverence. Let me explain. Relevance, as in we want the music to be relevant to the youth, relevant to this community, worldwide, children who are learning worldwide. We want it to be relevant. It has to be rigorous. So we have spent a lot of time with MTB, the Music Teachers Board, trying to understand the requirements of each grade, what they look for, and kind of translate those requirements into Sikh music. And that's taken a long time. This journey, in fact, from the initial idea to the launch in September 2024, began around 2014. It took a very, very long time. We went from music board to music board to music board, and trying to convince them that they need to take this seriously, and that they need to be the music board that stamps our exam. And it was MTB who showed faith, and we are where we are now. So we're obviously very indebted, very grateful to the MTB for doing this. And reverence, because we want the learners to value what they're doing as well. So those were our goals, and overarching all of that is our goal to preserve this wonderful heritage, to preserve this wonderful music, the kirtan, for generations and generations to come. And the reaction to this, the reaction to the launch has been absolutely phenomenal. And I'll talk to you a bit more about that in a moment. So the award offers 30 UCAS tariff points. So I'm in academia, and very, very soon, the 29th of January is the UCAS deadline. So those of you who haven't yet applied, you've got about 3 more days possibly to get your application in. On the 29th of January, UCAS deadline closes. And when we make decisions on applicants, and they're, if we arrive at a situation where, for example, the entry requirement to the degree is, 3 Bs, or let's just go all the way up, 3 As, and we've got 60 places, and we know from experience, let's say, that we should make maybe 120 offers, and that from our experience, 120 offers will translate to the 60 places that we want to fill. Let's just say hypothetically, that's where we are. And let's just say that actually we've got 200 applicants to the course who are predicted the 3 As. So we've got a bit of a problem there. Somehow we have to differentiate between those applicants. And that's when we start to look at things like extracurricular, Duke of Edinburgh, and the music exams. That's where it all starts to become very important, because how else are we going to differentiate between those candidates, right? So I know this from practical experience, having actually being an admissions tutor for my own degree at the University of Warwick. So this is going to completely change mindsets. Children will be able to study this knowing that when I apply to university, I can put this on my UCAS application, and universities will take it seriously. So what will be on the exam? What does it look like? Well, let's have a look at pre-grade and grade 1. It's divided into essentially 2 parts. There's a technical section and then a recital section, which again is not that different to the Western contemporary classical music exams. The technical section is worth 25% of the mark, and the recital is worth 75%. So that's how it's split. And again, that is very similar, if not identical, to the Western exams. This is pre-grade and grade 1. This might, it says will change, but what I'm saying is it might change as the grades progress. So a technical exam, Tal test your a knowledge of rhythm, timekeeping. A vocal test your ability to sing, because what we have here is very different to any other music exam. Let me explain why. These learners, they are not just playing the instrument, they have to sing with the instrument as well. So that adds another layer of complexity. So what we saw today, it was just instrumental, and the ragis, the performers, were not singing. But imagine they also had to sing while they were playing, which is what we're testing. So the student has to be able to sing. And then finally, in the technical test is the Saj Balta. So that was rhythm test, vocal test, and now performance test. There'll be performance pieces, no singing, just performance, which they will have to play. Finally, in the main element of the exam, we have a recital where they have to sing sabds. They have to sing hymns, verses, best translation that we can apply from a Sikh point of view to a Western. They have to sing, and they have to perform 3 pieces, and each of those 3 pieces is worth 25%. Add it together, and you get your 75%. So that is what the exam will look like. And we've had to do, there's a lot of work we've had to do. We've had to write, you can't see it very clearly there, but we've had to create effectively our own notation system. Because in Indian classical music, there is no standardized notation system. They differ very slightly. You go to the south, even in Punjab, even in the north, they're not very different, but they're slightly different. We've also had to create a structure relating to how the bandish, how the shabd has to be presented. So there's the notation for the shabd, and then there's the notation for the actual structure of the performance. We've had to create all this, right? It didn't exist before. We spent a lot of time so that every single candidate around the world has to now perform it in exactly the same way so that we can fairly assess them. Okay, so that's new. And yes, we even created a new font. So there's a lot of work we've had to do. Okay, now before we finish, some FAQs, frequently asked questions. Is this a learning guide that I can follow independently to pass the exam? You could study this independently. That's quite risky. We always obviously say, adopt an ustad, a teacher, and learn from a teacher, and a teacher will guide you through this. When will I get to know about the remaining grades? Haj, you've mentioned pre-grade to grade 3. What about the rest? Well, we're working on that right now. Literally, this next few days, we're developing all the way up to, hopefully all the way up to grade 8. I'm a tutor and I want to teach more than this syllabus. So what we've had to do is trying to get Indians to agree on things is quite challenging, right? We have lots of different schools, lots of different thoughts. It should be done like this, it should be done like this. It's not just Indians, it's just, these are, when you're trying to get consensus, it is very, very difficult. And what we have in Indian classical music is this gharana system. And gharanas can be very protective, very strong traditions. We can't do this, it goes against our tradition. So what we've had to do, there's quite a few of us on the committee. Sukhmani's on the committee, and Maul is here, he's on the committee. We've had to try to apply our diplomatic skills to the limit and try to get agreement and consensus on all of this. So one of the things that tutors will say to us is that when I teach, I don't want to be restricted to this. I like to teach this, my Gharana teaches this, my school teaches this, and what we're saying is you can carry on doing that. If you've got, let's say, a 1.5 hour lesson or a 1 hour lesson, maybe devote 20 minutes to this, and then the other 40 minutes can be exactly what. We don't want to stifle your creativity. We don't want to upset your teaching plans too much. You can still carry on teaching what you're teaching, but please follow this. Who are we paying for the exam? This is a kind of, in Punjabis and Indians, they want to know where the money's going, right? So it's MTB, they are the examination, they're the exam board. The money goes to them, you pay them. The committee, we're not getting paid, we're all working voluntarily. The exam is organized, it's kind of assessed by MTB. It's rubber stamped by MTB. The certificate comes from MTB as well. The examiners, however, are examiners that we're currently in the process of identifying, training. Obviously, they know Kirtan, they know how to examine. So that's how that will work. How does the exam run? Okay, so, during COVID, if you were, I'll just pick on an exam board. If you were an ABRSM student, ABRSM, my daughter was learning piano at the time, and the exams just stopped because they were all face-to-face exams. Took a little while for them to adapt, and then most exam boards started to offer online exams. That's what MTB have been doing for a very long time. The way it works is that when you're ready to sit the exam, you register with MTB, you download their app, and you record your exam, and you submit it. That's how it works. So it's very, very convenient, reasonably simple. There are some rules about how you record it, how long the recording can be, and so on, but that bit is, in this TikTok generation, this is, you know, they'll adapt. The kids will adapt to this very easily. It's us parents that will have problems setting up the cameras. They'll know exactly how to do it. So that's how the exam runs. It's recorded and it's submitted. Now the beauty of that is that you don't submit the exam until you're ready, right? So if you're sitting a face-to-face exam, the way it works is you have an appointment, you turn up, that's it, that's your opportunity. If you mess it up, then you'll lose points, and it could be worse, you might fail. With this, you can rehearse it, record it, say, okay, I'm ready now, I believe that's my best effort. Who will examine this? It will not be, I will not examine my own students, obviously, so we have to, there's a heck of a lot of rigor that's applied. We eliminate conflict of interests, and we find examiners who are not connected to you, which is difficult to do, but that's something that the committee, the South Asian Music Committee, are working on. So if you believe you could help examine, then please talk to us, let us know. UK examiners will probably examine Indian Punjab students or USA students. We're just going to try and organize it so that there's minimal to no conflict of interest. So that's a very, very complex problem that we have, but we must obviously follow it to maintain the rigor. What if I fail? Which is a big question that students have. Well, if you fail grade 1, you could resit it, or your teacher might say, you know what, just move to grade 2. So it's not the case that you have to have passed grade 1 to move to grade 2, okay? So if you fail, trust the judgment of your teacher. And if your teacher says, you weren't actually ready for grade 1, you shouldn't have sat it, you need to go through it again, we need to spend a bit of time, that's fine. Respect that advice. If teacher says, that's fine, we're going to move to grade 2, then move to grade 2. So that's how that works. Can I go straight to grade 4? Yes. If you believe you are ready for grade 4, then you can jump straight in at grade 4. Again, it's not the case that you have to go from pre-grade, grade 1, grade 2, and all the way up. That's not how it works. When can I sit the exam? Okay, we are planning to launch the actual exams this summer, September. We're not sure when, but there will be a big announcement on our SAMC Instagram page. Little plug there, #SAMC. Please connect with us on Instagram and you'll get to hear when the exams are ready and when you can start registering to sit the exam. Who developed this and why wasn't I invited? So there's, again, a lot of Ustads, teachers around the world will say, how come I wasn't invited? So we have a cross-section of very senior tutors with years and years of experience who are part of our curriculum committee. So we have the South Asian Music Committee, which is the group that are overseeing all the development of the exams. Then we have a curriculum committee who are meeting this weekend to actually sit down and compose, put together the the bandishes, the compositions, and they're a cross-section of different musicians. For example, Ustad Balwant Singh, who was just sitting here a few moments, Guruji, Ustad Sarjeet Singh, Kirpal Panesar, Dr. Gurnam Singh, who's in the USA. There's a cross-section of tutors. Nearly there. We've had a lot of these events around the UK just to kind of, drum up interest, just to kind of get that kind of interest, that buy-in. We are working on a teacher training program. We don't know when that's going to be launched. The double R curriculum, which is next on our horizon, we've already started some work on that. So there will be a double R exam as well. And yes, so that's next on our plans. And then the last slide is when we launched this in September, we had absolutely no idea how much attention this would instantly get. So we launched it in September. Within 2 weeks, we had the BBC, ITV, radio stations in the USA, TV stations in India. I think, if I counted right, there were 39 press clippings around the world. We appeared on the BBC, Sunday Morning Live. We appeared on ITV. We were kind of, just absolutely, gobsmacked by the amount of attention this was getting. But I suppose the icing on the cake for us was when I suddenly got sent a press clipping from India. Someone just kind of WhatsApped me and said, "Have you seen this?" And it was the Jathedar of the Akal Takht. The Akal Takht, how can I describe it? It's almost like the Vatican. It's probably the closest kind of comparison. It's not quite the Pope, but if you imagine the Pope came out, endorsed something, it would be a bit like that for us. The Jathedar endorsed this and congratulated us on what we had done. And so that's for us was, a massive, massive sense of achievement. And like I say, the interest has been absolutely astounding. We're launching classes all over the UK. Our next class launch is on January the 30th at Guru Nanak Gurdwara Smethwick. One of our directors on GSA, Rav, he's here, and he's trying to just scare people off now. He's trying to find excuses or ways to kind of not register more people, because so many people want to register. We haven't got enough tutors. We haven't got enough instruments. We're honestly just unable to cope with the demand right now. So I'm sure it's the same in Southall as well with the classes there. So the interest has been phenomenal. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I hope that you have enjoyed the evening. Please spread the word. Tell your friends about this. This is, for the Sikh community. This is a landmark event for us. This is the first time Kirtan, which we hear at every Sikh festival. You can't have a Sikh celebration without Kirtan. It's so fundamental to our DNA. And now it's been recognized internationally, globally. And for our next generation, what we've done is we've set something up for them, something for them to be proud of, something for them to invest in, and something for us to be proud of as well. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much, everyone. As I said at the start, it means so much for us to have this event here at the CBSO. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Dr. Harjinder Singh, Lali. Thank you to the musicians. It was stunning. I've learnt so much, and I feel like we've got the right people in the room here today. Let's do something together with the CBSO. It would be beautiful, so thank you again. Can you give it up one more time for Dr. Harjinder Singh and the musicians? We have got so many esteemed guests in this room, and I also know some of you want some food that's outside. So before I pass over to Kuldeep Singh, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for being here. We've got consul generals in the room, we've got deputy lieutenants, we've got head teachers, we've got internationally renowned artists, but we also have the Indian High Commissioner here today, who we are very honoured to welcome to the stage just for a few minutes to say thank you. So if they would like to join, please do. If they've already left, that's fine. Otherwise, whoever was expecting to speak may speak. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Distinguished guest, Dr. Harjinder Singh Lawley, esteemed artist, member of the Sikh community and friends. It is a profound honor to be here today to celebrate the launch of the first internationally recognized Sikh sacred music syllabus. This moment marks not just a milestone for Sikh culture and heritage in UK, but also a significant leap forward for global musical education. The introduction of Sikh sacred music, or Kirtan, into the globally recognized 8th grade music system is truly groundbreaking. For the first time, Indian string instruments such as the Dilruba, Tas, Isras, Sarangi, and Saranda are being given the recognition they deserve, with students now able to earn UCAS points through their formal study. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Mr. Dr. Lally, his team, and all those who have contributed to this pioneering project. Your work not only celebrates Sikh culture, but also adds a vibrant thread to the rich tapestry of global musical traditions. His tireless efforts to bring this music tradition into the mainstream education system will not only preserve this heritage, but also inspire generations to embrace the beauty of Sikh sacred music. I also appreciate Namdari Raggis for their contribution to the development of syllabus for this course. Today's launch is more than just unveiling of a syllabus. It is the introduction of a bridge between the traditions and modernity, between generations and between cultures. It is an invitation for the world to experience the spiritual depth, artistic beauty, and cultural richness of Kirtan. I also appreciate Mr. Kuldeep Ubi for his efforts in this project in introducing me to this auspicious event. The inclusion of these traditional Indian instruments represents a crucial step in ensuring their legacy endures. They are not only merely instruments, but vessels of history, spirituality, and emotions that have shaped the Sikh musical tradition for centuries. I'm also deeply excited to witness the live demonstrations of these instruments by the talented visiting artists from India. Their performance will undoubtedly enrich this evening and offer us all a glimpse of the soul-stirring power of Sikh sacred music. As a Consul General, I am privileged to represent a country that treasures its diverse cultural heritage. Initiatives like this resonate deeply with India's ethos of unity in diversity, showcasing the enduring relevance and universal appeal of our traditions. Let us continue to celebrate and promote such initiatives that honor our heritage while connecting us to a global audience. Together, we can endure that these invaluable traditions not only survive, but thrive in the modern world. My best wishes for the continued success of this syllabus and its journey in inspiring and educating the world about the beauty of the Sikh sacred music. Jai Hind, Vahe Guruji ka Khalsa, Vahe Guruji ka Fateh.
Good evening and a warm Sat Sri Akal to everybody. Thank you to Consul General for summing up today's event. I'm not going to take too much time. It's just a big thank you for getting this event over the line. I really would like to thank the CBSO for their vision. You've met Tom. I think nearly 2 years ago, Gurpreet introduced Emma at an interfaith conference here in Birmingham. And from there, a community board was set up. We have members from the community board. Aftab, if you're here, if you stand up. Has he left? Okay, we have members from here. And the community board has worked very hard to bring the communities together to work with what the CBSO. That's very important. Sukhmani mentioned Guru Nanak Dev Ji's gift to us all. Kirtan, even meditation today is so important with mental health issues. And this was over 500 years ago. This tradition was almost lost by the Sikh community, and as a young age, I had witnessed His Holiness Satguru Jagjit Singh Ji bringing music artists from all corners of India together, sending off people like Ustad Surjit Singh Ji to these artists, stay with them for months to learn and bring that tradition back. There were Sikh Ustads from other communities, not from the Namtari communities, that were just left elderly by their families, and Satguruji brought them to Siri Pani Sahib. He looked after them, he took the notes, he put recognition for this. And today, one of their visions was that every Sikh should have the smell of Rag. Rag di khushbu honi chahiye. Today, for me, I've grown up with the Sikh community listening to the Kirtan and sometimes never thought too much of it. I actually met Dr. Harjinder Ji when he was learning, or he had the love for that, and he would ring me up and say, can you come and do Kirtan? And this was in a farm, massive tent. We would go in Warwick. I think Gusharan, our resident Raggi here in Birmingham, he can remember, we used to take a minibus 3 o'clock in the morning, sit there and wait till sunrise, and we'd do Asadiwar for 2.5 hours. And that brought us together. And we've known each other for that long. So it's brought communities within communities together. It's brought families together. It's brought the Raggis together. And that's what music does. So the vision of the CBSO is actually really important for Birmingham. There's a vast amount of communities settling here in Birmingham. It's probably one of the most diverse cities we have. And recognizing that, they have opened the doors. And part of our role here on the community board is to engage the communities. And they've done some tremendous work on that side. We have Shin from DCS, real renowned Bhangra artist, but he's working with the CBSO. And on their season calendar, please take it on the way out. You'll see that on the 17th of May, they've got a Bollywood event here at the CBSO. We've got a quality event also. And they're engaging the communities in many aspects. So I think the Consul General said we had, he said we had the right people in the room. And you are the people who are going to sort of push that message across. You have students, you have people within that community. The part of the networking piece was for us to sort of be outside afterwards and exchange the numbers, contacts. Many people ask us, oh, my son wants to learn this instrument. The Ustads are here. The work that Dr. Harjinder has done to actually promote this is, it's like a tree where you can see the Kirtan started in a little village in Punjab. Ustad Surjit Singh Ji then taught Dr. Harjinder, and now what Dr. Harjinder has done to actually introduce that is absolutely amazing. We're from a generation where we would learn music instruments, not me, but our community would, but it's never been sort of recognized. But how lovely would it be, not just only for the Sikh students, but other communities to take this opportunity and learn these instruments. So your best friend is actually now learning these instruments, and you feel part of the community, and everybody feels they can work together. Just before today's program, we were talking about some collaboration work here at the Symphony Hall with Tom and the community board. So please look out onto the CBSO website and see some of the work that will be coming, and hoping to get that communities together. We have many guests here. I really thank you for your time and efforts for coming and joining us here this evening. Please take the opportunity outside to, again, network with each other, exchange numbers, and this is what we're here for. Any help that you can offer, Dr. Harjinder is here for a while. Please connect with them. CBSO members are here. Please exchange details with Tom. That's all I can ask you to do. Again, thank you very much. I would like to thank some special helpers today in today's programs to put that together. It's Ravinder Koliji from Global Sikh Vision. I think at one point I was thinking, no, this is not going to happen. And the artists were here from India, and they're only here for a short time to make. No, just put it together. You've done it. It will happen. So it was a really big thank you and a shout out to him. Gurpreet Singh with his vision. I don't know if he sleeps. I don't know if he gets all these visions, but he's really put this all together and sort of pushing everybody in this aspect. And Suki, he was here bringing many artists and connecting with other communities. We have Sant Avtar Singh Ji from the Sikh Studies and Punjabi. He's a chair, sits at Wolverhampton University. We've had this CBSO headmaster from the Sandwell Academy here joining and intrigued in this side. Please exchange numbers. Don't be afraid of each other, and let's make this happen. Thank you very much again.